Oh God. If only you guys knew why that was so funny. I'm in a good. Oh God. You can start the game, Kevin. This guys, I go through a lot at the movies. Go through good, which was Avengers Endgame and Godzilla, and I go through the bad, which was Aladdin and this. Me and Kevin have seen some shit. We really have. Today was bad. Now, it's not as bad as people said it was. Nowhere near. People said it's the worst X-Men movie, worse than X-Men Origins. I know, I just messed up X-Men. Whatever. Worse than X-Men Origins. I highly disagree with that. This movie has better special effects, better acting, and a lot of other better things than X-Men Origins. Believe me. But that does not justify this movie being as bad as it is. Because this movie is fucking terrible. This Dark Phoenix was bad, guys. And I wanted...
Part of what made
What happened?
Part of what made the experience a little worse than it needed to be. Some crackheads having a flashlight.
Oh yeah, bro. Yo, guys, I don't know what it is. Some people really have no fucking respect when they go to the movies. First of all, why are you showing up 15 minutes late to a movie and you're shining a flashlight in everybody's face? Hold on.
Eliminate all marked targets.
And you're shining a flashlight in everybody's face trying to find your seat when the movie's 15 minutes in already. Like, I don't get it. That irritated me so much, guys. We were sitting in the theater, right? Mind you, the movie started off pretty stupid anyway. And we were over here like, oh my God. Okay, he just pulled out a melee weapon. And we were like, this lady, crackhead, is shining this light, trying to freaking find her seat, right? No respect. Like, instead of using the brightness off the screen, she's just blinding everybody with the flashlight. Like, I don't get it. People have no respect. I don't know.
I don't know why, but this other part about the people at the movie theater, it didn't annoy me as much, but it was still quite annoying. There's some kid who was playing some...
Oh yeah, that pissed me off too. Because number one, the noise of it was pissing me off, and number two, she kept like taking pictures of the seat and the flash kept going off. I was annoyed as well. You were not alone. I was pissed off. That annoyed me so much. That just added to the experience of this fucking movie. This movie was bad, guys. It's not as bad as Transformers: The Last Knight. To me, that's like one of the worst movies ever made. But it's just... And it's not as bad as, like, you know, Elektra or Daredevil. But it was just... It was a mess. I mean, okay, I take that back. I like Daredevil for what it is. It's not too bad. It's pretty silly, but yeah, this was bad. We're gonna talk about spoilers, although if we're really gonna talk about it, nothing of interest really happens in this movie. In all honesty, there's one major spoiler. Other than that, Kevin knows what it is, and it was so obvious because they spoiled it in the trailer. If you saw the trailer, you know what happens. It was a mess. This movie was this felt like this was so lazy. The acting was terrible. We and Kevin were laughing at scenes that were meant to be serious. It was so bad. Me and Kevin had 3 laugh out loud moments. And I'm not saying that like expanding on an LOL term. I'm just saying like we were bursting out of laughter. It was that bad. So we're gonna start out. This movie was mercifully short, by the way, which thank God for us, because if this movie was 3 hours long or 2 hours long at that, we would have been asleep. Okay. So we're gonna start from the beginning. It starts off. Jean is very young, right? Which, by the way, I feel like when they did it in The Last Stand, it worked. Bro, are you fucking kidding me? I feel like the Last Stand did somewhat of the story better because they had 3 movies, you know. They developed her character in a better way. But with this, it was kind of just like 2 movies, and even at that, we only really got 1 movie to really connect with Jean. You know, like I don't know. That's like if they had killed Cyclops in this movie. Thankfully, they didn't. But Cyclops has another shining moment, which we'll talk about. I'm sorry, guys. It was bad. Oh God. So basically, to sum it up, Jean kills her parents because she lost control of her powers, and it shows Charles Xavier. And her parents died, and she is given up to Charles. Which I think that's how they did it in The Last Stand. Don't quote me on that. I would not be able to tell you whether or not that happened. So then it fast forwards, and it's basically present day, and it basically I don't know if this is like a real life space launch or something, but like there's a space launch happening, and then like there's a bunch of solar flares in space, and so Professor X sends the X-Men up into space. Storm, Jean, and Quicksilver are a part of the X-Men now. If you didn't know, they were villains in... Oh, and Nightcrawler as well. Well, Nightcrawler wasn't a villain, I'm just saying. They weren't a part of the X-Men in Apocalypse, which... By the way, I hate the fact that this movie comes after X-Men Apocalypse, because X-Men Apocalypse is literally one of my favorite movies. But yeah, so basically the movie starts. It's a space mission, it's a rescue mission. It's pretty simple. It's cool to see the X-Men being a team, you know, because I feel like we haven't really gotten that since probably X-Men 3, which is a long time. So it was pretty nice to see. So the movie starts off where they're rescuing these astronauts, and it's going fine, you know. Well, not going fine. It's going smoothly, I guess. You can say that it's going smoothly. So, oh my God, that man got destroyed. So,
that's a kill.
Nightcrawler and Quicksilver go to rescue the
Ruin eliminate.
Astronauts, and this was my first, you know, like pissed off moment of the movie. Quicksilver, this was supposed to be one of Quicksilver's major scenes, like in X-Men Apocalypse and Days of Future Past. However, in Days of Future Past and X-Men Apocalypse, they actually gave a shit. So the oh my God, I can't think. Take over for a little bit.
So Quicksilver just gathers all the astronauts except one who was in some other compartment. In some other.
No. But tell them why it's bad. Tell them why, you know, it's annoying.
That was one of the more major moves he did.
It was basically, they tried to mimic like the cool action sequences, but it's lazy. It looks so bad. Like, the special effects in this movie, I cannot say enough. They're so bad. And so he basically like flicks them. He flicks them to Nightcrawler, and then they all get out, and then there's somebody sitting there or at the bottom trying, because what happens is Nightcrawler can't see inside the ship, so Jean tells Cyclops to shoot the engine or something, I don't know, so that way it slows down, that way he can see. So one of the guys went to go fix that, and he got trapped down there, so Nightcrawler goes with Jean goes to keep the ship under control because it's about to like break, and Nightcrawler obviously goes that way they can back out, I hate this map. Nightcrawler goes that way he can teleport to the ship, get him out, yada yada. So he gets out, but he can't get Jean, and so all the solar flares go inside her, and that's how she gets the Phoenix Force. But if you watch X-Men Apocalypse, you know that she had the Phoenix Force, so I guess this was a dark side of the Phoenix Force, I guess. I don't know. They never explained it, and they never touched on what happened in X-Men Apocalypse. Professor X just saw her, annihilate Apocalypse with the Phoenix Force and never mentioned it ever again. I don't know. So, basically, after this, the movie gets painfully boring. Painfully boring. For the next 45 to an hour, it was so boring. It was literally boring. Mind you, this movie is an hour and 53 minutes. So that 1 hour and maybe 30 minutes of that, it was boring. It was so boring. Literally, this is what happens. Let's mention Mystique's wonderful line, shall we? Guys, I swear on my life, I almost walked out of this movie after this line. Me and Kevin, first of all, we laughed out loud because of how bad it was. Kevin, start the match. We laughed out loud at how bad it was. And on top of that, first of all, the line delivery itself was so bad. Jennifer Lawrence is horrendous in this movie. Granted, she's not in it much. Spoiler alert, she fucking dies. But so she's arguing with Professor X, right? About how he's never taken a risk, or he hasn't taken one in a while, which is true. It was a good point. And then she says this. She says, and I quote, I shit you not, maybe you should change the name from the X-Men to the X-Woman. You know, I respect everybody who likes Captain Marvel. I do. Even Kevin likes Captain Marvel. I don't care. But I do not like getting beaten over the head with women empowerment shit. Do you know how annoying it is? And now it's everywhere. It's so annoying. I'm so sick of it. This was horrible. This was horrible. And that just set the tone.
What annoyed me most about that line was it had nearly no relevance. The only relevant thing she said was about Professor X not taking...
It was so bad. It was so bad. Literally, my mouth hit the floor. It hit the floor. Me and Kevin looked at each other, I think, 5 times. We were shocked. Kevin knew. I feel like Kevin knew. As soon as she said it, Kevin knew.
I watched the scene right before the film. I didn't want to tell you, I wanted to see your reaction to it.
I heard something about that, but I didn't watch the scene because I don't like watching scenes from, movies. But I was just like, oh my god. I don't get it, man. I'm so glad Jennifer Lawrence is done with this X-Men nonsense, man. I really am. She's so bad in these movies.
I feel like she didn't even want to play.
Bro, she hasn't wanted to do these movies since like Days of Future. No, since like Apocalypse. Did you see how bad she was in? I mean, she wasn't that bad in Apocalypse, but she wasn't great. She really didn't give a fuck in Apocalypse. She really didn't give a fuck now.
But yeah, I really didn't like the fact that line. It had almost no relevance to the rest of the movie or what happened prior. They said the women sacrificed their life for everything, and I'm like, oh.
Meanwhile, that team only has three female characters. But like, I don't get it, man. Oh my god, we gotta keep going, man. We gotta keep going. We're gonna. Oh my god, I still can't believe it. It was the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. It was so bad. So basically, the next 20 minutes to 30 minutes of this movie is basically Jean like moping around saying, "Oh, I can't control my powers. Oh, I can't control my powers," and that's fine and all. I don't have a problem with that. But the problem is that it's like really boring. The movie's low in action, in my opinion, and other than the third act, it's like it doesn't get any better. So then we get introduced to Jessica Chastain, who
Enemy sniper's nest inbound.
I don't know her name, and I'm not looking it up because this movie doesn't deserve me putting in that effort. Honestly, you could have taken her out the movie and the movie would have not changed except for the ending. And that's a fact. She was so... First of all, Jessica Chastain was so bad. She was a robot. But on... Oh my god. I'm about to leave this game. But on top of that, you know, she's the main villain. How are you gonna have... That's like having Thanos be so irrelevant that he's not in the movie. Like, how? I don't get it.
Ready to drop an assault pack.
Mind you, Fox created Magneto. They created one of the best villains in the... Bro, this kid with the rampage is so fucking annoying, I swear to God. Literally just spraying. She's a normal person. People were speculating, well, people were half right about what she is. People were speculating that she was a shapeshifter, she was an alien. That's true. However, it's not really her. Basically, these aliens come and they take over her body. And I'm leaving this match. They take over her body and they become her. Well, not they. One of them does. And basically what they want is the Phoenix Force. They took the plot line from the comic. This is the one thing this movie gets right. The Phoenix Force destroyed their planet. And so they're coming for it. And so that's what Jessica Chastain's character is doing there. And so basically her only arc is getting to Jean. So oh god, I swear, after they introduced Jessica Chastain, I really don't know what happened after that. What happened after that? She went to her father's house, right?
I guess you could say her father. I don't know. I guess it was just.
No, it was her. No, it was her father. Like, that was legitimately her father. Okay. So Professor X tries to get inside Jean's head, but Jean doesn't let him, and she finds out that her father's still alive after the car crash. So she goes to see him, and she finds out that her father never, like, you know, gave a shit. And so she gets pissed and she knocks him out, I guess, unconscious, whatever. And the X-Men go to help her. This was lazy. Basically, this whole movie makes Professor X a villain. I don't mind that, because he was kind of that in The Last Stand too. But I don't mind that, because James McAvoy handles the plotline really well, and he's one of the best parts of this movie. And you can start a match unless you're gonna invite people. So they confront her at her father's house. Oh, excuse me. and you know they're trying to convince her like, oh, we're here to help you or whatever. And then the cops come, and the Phoenix Force takes over her, and she starts killing the cops and stuff. And basically all the X-Men just start trying to fight her out of nowhere, which it came out of nowhere. And again, this was the second Quicksilver fight scene, which was horrendous. It looked so bad. He tried.
Knocked out of the thing.
Yeah, he tried running up like these walls. Again, they tried showing super speed in this movie, but it looked so bad. So he tries running up like these bricks, and she like bitch slaps him, and he goes flying, and so Beast tries to shoot her, excuse me, Jean, and Professor X gets inside Jean's mind and is trying to convince her again. And then Mystique goes to try to talk to her, and she's trying. Jean is trying to fight the Phoenix Force, and she's also trying to talk to Mystique. And Mystique, of course, I don't know why you would do this. She touches her, trying to get her to relax, and Jean freaking explodes, I guess. And Jean goes flying back into a pile of wood and gets stabbed. And she's dying. And this was the second laugh out loud moment in this movie. Mystique is dying, and Beast goes over to her, right? Mystique is like, oh, I love you. And Beast is trying to cry. It was so bad. Me and Kevin did not give a fuck. We were laughing our asses off. This was terrible. Nicholas Hoult. I love Nicholas Hoult. If you ever seen Mad Max Fury Road, which I know Kevin has, oh my god, I can't remember his name for the life of me. The bald guy that he was crazy as hell, that he was a villain in the beginning and then he started helping them at the end, that he dies driving the war rig. I can't remember his name for the life of me. That he sprays his teeth shiny. You know what I'm talking about?
I haven't seen the third Mad Max in so long.
No, Fury Road, not the third Mad Max.
Okay, well, whatever it was, I haven't seen that movie in so long.
Ugh, you killed me. But yeah, Nicholas Hoult is so freaking good, but this was, oh my god. Come on, boys, we got this. And so, yeah, Mystique dies. This was ruined in the trailer. They literally showed the scene where she gets pushed back, only they didn't show her, fall onto anything. So then, after that... the...
Expired.
So then after that, everybody's mourning. Mourning? I don't know how do you say that word. So, Beast is talking to Professor X. This was another great line delivery from Nicholas Hoult. He's going on about how Professor X was the villain the whole time, and it was so bad. This part was so bad, man. Oh my god, I feel so bad for Nicholas Hoult. This line delivery just kills me, bro. So then after that, Jean runs away, I think, right? She runs away to find Magneto, and I like this. This I liked. This was probably my second favorite part of the movie. I like this part. Jean goes to Magneto and she's like, "Oh, how did you stop killing?" And because, you know, Magneto is settled down now. What the hell? Magneto is, you know, he basically runs a camp or a farm where there's mutants, you know, peace, love, harmony, all that nonsense. And so Jean goes there and the military follows, well, doesn't follow. The military goes there looking for her. And Jean attacks them and Magneto, ooh, vote for artifact. No! Damn it. Oh, look at the lobby, by the way. So the military goes and is like, "Oh, we're looking for Jean," and Magneto's trying to avoid them, but eventually Jean comes out and attacks them. And then Magneto helps them get away, and then Magneto tells Jean, "Oh, get the hell out of here, because you're just gonna kill people." And so then after that, God, what the hell happened after that?
I think she went to some bar and she meets up with what's her face?
Jessica Chastain.
Yeah,
she meets up with Jessica Chastain's character, the main villain, and basically she's saying like, "Oh, you need to be your own person, you need to unleash your power," whatever. And then Beast goes to, I'm pretty sure I'm missing some things. I really don't care. This movie was terrible. So Beast goes to Magneto and says, "Oh, she killed Raven," and that provokes Magneto to go kill Jean. And so basically they create a mini civil war. Basically, start the game please, on board. This basically creates a mini civil war between the X-Men. It was Magneto, Beast, Cyclops, I think. Oh, no, it was Magneto, Beast, and then two other mutants that Magneto had. I don't remember their names. They were never introduced properly into the movie. I can't speak. So, and then on the other side it was Professor X, Nightcrawler, Cyclops, and Storm. And basically, Professor X's side was trying to protect Jean. Magneto's side obviously was trying to kill Jean. So, out of nowhere, this movie became so much better than it was. This came out of nowhere. The movie was so boring up until this point. It got really cool. You know, the action was intense. Some of it looked horrible, but some of it looked actually pretty cool. Seeing the X-Men fight each other, that was really cool. And I just gotta say, Magneto is such a beast. Oh my god.
One thing I didn't like in that particular Civil War type of scene was it kind of didn't set the tone properly for a good. It's just one line. I think it was like Magneto and Professor X were just arguing. They were arguing, and it was like this very serious tone.
Okay, wait. No, wait, no, don't say it yet. Okay, I gotta tell you guys what happens. So basically, it's a whole standoff. I completely forgot. So it's like a whole standoff between the two sides, right? And Magneto's telling Professor X, which is totally true. He goes, "Oh, Charles, like nobody wants to listen to you anymore. You always have something to say, but at this point, there's nothing to say anymore. You know, we have to kill Jean." And then out of nowhere, it was out of nowhere, Cyclops goes, "If you fucking touch," no, he goes, "If you touch her, I will fucking kill you." In those exact words. I swear to God, it was the funniest thing. It was so funny. Bro, they really tried to make it sound so, like, badass, and it just was a failure. It was bad. It was one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life. We were laughing about it so hard on the way home. "If you touch her, I will fucking kill you." Oh my god, man. He's another one that's bad in this movie.
We've secured our flag.
I don't know. So then after that, they start fighting, like I said,
Ready to
and
drop an assault pack.
We've pulled ahead.
I haven't found anybody. Where the hell is everybody?
We've captured the enemy flag. Our flag is
Oh,
taken. We have the enemy flag. Our flag carrier is down.
fuck. I can't catch up to him. Okay, so basically what happens after this is that they all start fighting, and Jean, Jessica Chastain's like, oh, embrace the power and stuff, and then basically what happens is that,
Enemy flag acquired.
oh my god, I can't think. Help me, I can't think. What the hell happens after this?
I was thinking Magneto was
Assault
trying
pack
to
right here.
kill Jane and she fucks him up, and at that moment, the cops come and they arrest all the mutants.
Enemy flag acquired.
And I think this is what happened.
Ajax killed.
Cover me.
Didn't want the power. Jean didn't want the power, and Jessica Chastain
Chastain.
take the power from her. Chastain decided to take the power from her, but Professor X realizes that she's an evil person and that she shouldn't give up the power, and he convinces Jean to not do it, but Jessica just grabs it.
Fuck!
She gets
Oh my
it.
god, yay. Yes. He got it. Let's go. Alright, okay. I got connection interrupted. That was weird. So, basic, and also Professor X reveals that if she had given up the power to Jessica Chastain, that let's go. That if she had given it up, she would have died. So then Cyclops comes in and shoots Jessica Chastain and sends her flying. This looked brutal, by the way. This was fucking... She went flying and smacked into that brick wall. It was funny. And, so... And then after that, the whole army kidnaps everybody. And, they're on this train. This was easily the best part of the movie. This was the most entertaining part of the movie, okay? This was when the action this felt like a whole other movie. And I know people have been saying that, but it's true. This felt like a whole nother movie. I don't know where this came from. I mean, I'm glad it's in the movie, but it's just like, where did it come from?
Cold as ice, sir.
So,
Got him.
Enemy flag acquired.
Assault pack's ready.
So then, they're on this train, and, whatchamacallit? God, I can't speak. I'm trying to focus on this game. So, they're on the train, and the aliens, which, by the way, I had a question about this. In the beginning of the movie, there's only like 5 of these clowns, right? I'm gonna call them clowns because they look like garbage. These clowns, right? They're not actually clowns. They're mutants that they're clowns. So these clowns all jump on the train and are trying to get to Jean because they want the Phoenix Force, obviously. So this happens, and they're like, the mutants are like, oh, that if you don't let us, first of all, they all apologize for everything. They're like, oh, you know, we gotta do for greater good. Oh, you know, that usual X-Men nonsense. And so they're like, okay, we're not mad anymore, you know. So what happens is that they attack the train, and one of the coolest, I will say this moment was cool. The guard releases all the X-Men from the prison, and they all like come out, right? And Beast forms. He was human, and then he forms up. And this was so cool. You gotta admit, this part was cool. When the X-Men all stood up and they were face to face with the mutants, or the clown party. That was so cool. I will admit that. That was easily the coolest part of the movie, by far. I got really hyped for that. And it's a whole throwdown in a train, and it was really entertaining. The action was really cool. Oh, excuse me. Storm was really cool. Nightcrawler was cool. Beast was cool. Everybody was kicking ass in this scene. And Magneto, man. Oh my god, Magneto is such a beast in this scene. So good. Magneto like takes like 1,000 guns, literally like 1,000 guns, and he just raining fire on Jessica Chastain. Of course, doesn't do anything because bullets don't kill these clowns, and so whatchamacallit. So then after that, Jessica Chastain goes for Jean to get the Phoenix Force. And so they kind of treated this like Infinity War, when Thanos came and he was just wiping everybody out. That's kind of what it reminded me of, only it was lazy. So basically, just envision Jessica Chastain taking out everybody. That's what happens. So then Jean and Professor X are talking in Professor X's mind, and she forgives him for everything that happened, and she like basically unleashes the Phoenix Force on Jessica Chastain. And to sum it up, after this point, nothing really interesting happened. She was kind of just taking out the clowns, and then after that, she sacrificed herself, and then basically the movie ended. The school was named Jean Grey, the Jean Grey School for mutants and all that, and then Charles and Magneto played a game of chess, which was a nice little callback to the franchise. And the movie ended. And on top of that, they teased Jean coming back, which makes no sense because if you know, Disney bought Fox. So that really doesn't make any sense why they would tease that. So yeah, that was Dark Phoenix. If it sounds bad, it's cause it is. This was a mess. This was me and Kevin showed no emotion other than when there was a bad moment, which there were a lot. The acting was bad. The action, for the most part, was really bad, other than the train sequence. And, you know, it's kind of sad because Simon Kimber, the director, he also wrote this movie. He's been producing, I think he's produced every X-Men movie. So it's really just shocking to see, you know, something like this go this wrong. Because you would think that it would go at least decent. But it's just... it was a mess. It was a mess. I don't know what they were thinking with this. They, you know, they had so much going for it. The cast, well, not in this movie. The cast is so good in the other movies. I don't understand what went wrong. I don't understand that. Maybe it was the script. Because honestly, the script looks like it's so bad.
Confirmed.
Part of why Magneto and Professor X were so good in the movie is because the actors were just that good.
No, they are that good. It's not maybe. They are that good.
I think the actors were so good, they made the script look decent when they were...
I mean, Magneto and Professor X's lines weren't bad. So, like, not how they delivered them, it's what they said. Like, the dialogue for them wasn't bad. That wasn't my issue. they were again really good for what they were given. Wow, I don't know, man. This was, I don't want to say it was disappointing because we expected it to be bad. I guess we were a little bit happier because it wasn't as bad.
Our flag has been taken.
I don't know, guys. That's gonna do it. We were gonna talk about so much, but you know, something happened and we weren't able to. But yeah, that's gonna do it. I don't know when I'm gonna be back on this. I gotta see what happens because you know the movie season is dying down. Because I think we'll probably be back on this for Spider-Man. Most likely. I don't see us seeing anything else. So yeah, that's gonna. No, I'm talking about like, you know, in the near future. Now, obviously, we're gonna be on there for that. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Take care. Have a lovely day. If you have seen Dark Phoenix, I doubt it, because nobody gave a shit. Just like the people who made this movie, nobody gave a shit. Let us know. We want to know. We want to know what people think. Because I have heard people who said they like this movie. So yeah, it's gonna do it. Have a lovely day and stay safe. Later, people.